Good day. This is Lego Man Fix the Bricks. And here's Carl Fredrickson on who I am based. And we'll put him just there. I'd like to look at the power-up system, particularly for trains. This is the set out of the Lego City Train. Just thought I'd point out a couple of little things. You're going to need a small set of screwdrivers like these. That's a jeweler's set of screwdrivers because it's not always that obvious how the battery works. It normally comes with a motor, the controller, and the hub box. And if we have a look in here, you can see this normally gets put into the build as you go along, and that plugs in to the hub in here. Now, it takes a little while to get used to this arrangement. We'll put that to the side. But the hub box takes 6 AAA batteries. Let's open that up. I'm going to use this middle-sized Phillips headed screwdriver. And if you look, there's no slidey parts to this. You actually have to turn it over and undo these 2 screws. They're captive screws, so they won't come out. So you undo these, can only go in one way, and we take this out, can only go in one way because there's a groove here and there's a groove there. And then you need to put in 6 AAA batteries. That's a fair old amount. I'm saying 6, but I'm only seeing a space for 3. Is that because there's some underneath? Yes, look. So 3 batteries in this side, then that goes back in there. And there, 3 in the top. That's a lot of batteries. You can only put it back one way, which goes in there. And when you put it back together, you can just tighten up these two screws again. And that is how you power up the hub. Quite an expensive way to power up the hub. The remote control sits here like this. This is the on-off button here, on-off button here in green, helpfully color-coded. Got the same problem with the remote. Have to take a screw out, and it does take a specialist screwdriver, really, as you can see. I'm using this Draper set of jewelry screwdrivers. We undo it. It's captive again. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. So to power up train in this case, but any of the other ones, you're going to need 10 AAA batteries. Then when you've loaded the batteries, put it back together again. There we go. That's back together again. The motor gets built into the model as you go, with the lead running in a train sense into the tender at the back. That plugs into there, like that. Pulls out there. Power up the remote control, power up the box. And then, with a bit of luck, you've got a train or some sort of mechanical Lego thing that actually works. But I really just made this video because it's a little bit confusing of where the batteries go. In fact, you've got to get 6 in there in the way I've shown you, and you've got to get 4 in there. So it's quite an expensive business. Little set of jewelry screwdrivers does it, and I've used the middle one there. If that's helpful, give us a like. Subscribe if you want. There's quite a lot of stop motion Lego material on the channel. And that's been Fix the Bricks Man. Here's Carl, who I'm based on. I look pretty much like that. I won't bore you with a photo just at the minute. Thank you for watching.